2020 just
sucks!
Hey, what's up, everybody?
I'm Ranuma.
And I'm Iz.
And welcome to the R&I Podcast. What's going on, everybody?
Hey, what's up, guys? Well, this one is going to be a little different from normal. It's going to be a little, like, on a slower tempo. This is going to be this podcast today is going to be talking about 2020's most notable deaths so far.
Yeah, we're not even like...
I mean, 2020 ain't even finished. It's not even finished.
It's not even done.
It's
not even
crazy.
Done.
All the things going on. I mean, man.
So we just wanted to obviously we want the year to be ending already. So
yeah,
we're just gonna go ahead and talk about.
I want to dream that Christmas had just passed and ready for a New Year's party at his house.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Everybody's invited.
How about we just fast forward all the way to that part? You know, like we take a shot and just say 2020 and then never speak of it again.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But no, we've compiled a couple of names that we thought was important. Mm-hmm. And some important to maybe yourselves. So
yeah, and we may not touch on all of them because man, there were a lot. There were a lot actually. I think they're about over 150.
Well, I read 106 where I got my sources.
That's a lot of most notable deaths. So so the first one
we got Grant Imahara. You guys may know him. From Mythbusters. He was notable for his role as an electrical engineer. And I think, I don't even know the last time I watched Mythbusters, but I think they were in like an old tavern.
Yeah.
Made my skin crawl. There was like, oh, dude, my back, it feels like it's getting like scratched up. And then you see like these like little scratches in the back of the dude's back. I was like, wait, is this real? It's like, it's really going on?
Oh, geez.
I didn't even know what year that was, but that was before sci-fi had the Y's. It was still spelled correctly. You know, I think it was SCI.
Yeah.
FI. Oh, it was incorrectly, but
I think it's still
sci-fi with Y's.
SIFY. So,
you know.
The next one is I'm gonna butcher his name, but it's Takuo Aoyagi.
Yeah.
Man, killed that. Sorry about that. But he was he was notable for his design on a device to measure and calculate blood oxygen levels, called the pulse oximeter. So it's basically a device that clips onto the tip of your finger and it'll read your pulse and your oxygen. So he is on this list because as a respiratory therapist, we actually utilize this on a daily basis. This is one of the quickest ways to get the oxygen saturation in the blood, or just from the fingertips. I did not know who created it until now. So this was actually very notable, especially in my field of profession and as a respiratory therapist. So that's actually pretty interesting that he was actually the designer for that. So, but yeah.
Thank you, Oyagi-san.
Yeah, for sure.
The next one would be Regis Philbin. Notable for the Guinness World Record holder for most hours on television, which is more than 15,000 hours.
Oh my gosh.
In all. We all know him from The Morning Show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and America's Got Talent. The New York City native got his start in broadcasting in an LA TV station where he started from parking cars to filling in for the station's sportcasters.
Wow.
He moved to San Diego, getting his first show interviewing celebrities. Now, Regis... his voice is pretty.
It's very distinct.
Notable, you know, yeah,
it's very distinct. Like that's him just by listening.
And like, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was one of my favorite shows, game shows. On, because for some reason his voice, it seems like he always wants to help you, no matter if you're like struggling on a question. And yeah, so Regis is definitely one of those influential people. Like for me, like I always thought that it was like a soothing voice to hear when trying to answer questions, especially the easy ones that some people may get wrong. And he's like, oh, that's too bad. You know, like you don't feel too bad. And
you're like, oh, it's okay.
But at home, you're just like, why did he get that wrong? But Regis, he has that like nice guy voice. You know
Yeah.
What I mean?
I think that's the it's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and there's another show with Kelly Ripa, live with Regis and Kelly. That I would watch them in because my mom would watch it when we were little. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, he's been in a lot of TV shows.
Tons. But broadcasting, especially.
But so it kind of did. It almost didn't surprise me when he holds the Guinness World Record for that. Like
he's everywhere.
I know. I'm like, geez. The next one is Bill Withers.
Man.
Mm-hmm. Notable for amazing hits like Lean on Me, Ain't No Sunshine, Lovely Day, and Just the Two of Us. He started his career in his early 30s. He won 3 Grammy Awards and inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
See, with Bill Withers, man.
Crazy.
Like, I have a friend who's now living in Hawaii right now. I met him here. And he was just like, all you have to do is sing a Bill Withers song and everyone will love you. Yeah. He's right. Everybody knows Bill Withers. And you know what's funny? You know that song, No Diggity? I like the way you work.
Oh, yeah.
No Diggity. So the guitar, the doom 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 doom, that's actually based off of a song that Bill Withers wrote called Grandma's Hands.
Yeah.
And I found that out because of Jamie Foxx posting it on YouTube the other day, and I'm like, I did not know that was the original beat. You know what I mean? Like, wow,
dang.
So Bill Withers is awesome, and you know what's also crazy is that Bill Withers stopped music, I think in the 80s, 85, I want to say, but he stopped because he was like, I did what I did, and I was happy that I was at least validated, or my work was valid.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's cool. That's a dream for a lot of musicians, such as myself, to be appreciated and celebrated by your work. You know what I mean? And that's really the goal for most artists.
Yeah. Like he's able to accept that he's accomplished a lot of things,
Totally. I mean, man.
Yeah. I mean, the most notable for me personally is I'm going to say Lean on Me. Like that song is, I think my kids started singing that song like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Maybe it's on TikTok for some reason, but they would start singing parts of the song and I would come out of nowhere, like singing the other part of the song. And they're like, oh, you know this song? I'm like, oh, you know Bill Withers?
Yeah, man. I mean, Lean on Me was also a movie that Morgan Freeman was in. And I think they had a song in there.
Yeah.
But I was confused because when people would say, I'm listening to Lean on Me, I was like, you mean the movie? And they're like, no, this song, doom, the doom, 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 doom. And I'm like, oh. But I mean, I really didn't know who sang it until later on. I mean, I want to say like 10 years after. So I was like maybe 13 when I found out it was him that sang it,
Oh, that's crazy though.
But I mean, also, other than Bill Withers, we have other musical artists that had passed away this year, like Little Richard. He was notable for jams like Tutti Frutti, Good Golly, Miss Molly, and Great Gosh Almighty. It's a Matter of Time. Little Richie, I think. That's how it used to be called. He was born into a family of 12 children as Richard Penniman in Macon, Georgia. And Tutti Frutti hit number 2 on the R&B charts and number 21 on the pop charts, despite many radio stations segregating artists whose music went over the airwaves. So it was definitely a big feature of his, being in those times. Also, he would tour with bands like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones as his opening acts. His influence inspired artists like Bob Dylan, Otis Redding, David Bowie, and Prince. Just to name a few.
You can see a lot of Prince.
You know what I mean? Like this guy, awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And I watched the movie based off of him. And like his performances were just so flawless. You know what I mean? They were just amazing.
Wasn't it like on point? Like how he is,
And like when I remember first seeing him on I think it was a music video or maybe a movie, and he was just like super, just all sweaty, just like playing that piano, like
Putting in work in there.
you know, doing that, you know, all that crazy stuff. And I was like, man, like his style was literally like he created that persona, and he said he was the architect of rock and roll. That's what he would say.
I mean, when you think of rock and roll, you think of the likes of of course Elvis Presley, and then Little Richie has to come in like on the top 5, if not top 3. You know, when you're talking about ranking them, or just being
literally the pioneer of rock and roll.
Yeah.
Along with you know, I do think of like when I think of rock and roll, like you know, like Pink Floyd, Leonard Skinner, you know, and those guys. You know, I think of them, and then when you look at Little Richie, like he started it like even further, you know, further back, and I was just like, man. But you know, as an artist, like he is also someone to look up to because of his, you know, his presence, his performance, his vocals. Awesome.
Another one in that category is Charlie Daniels, notable for being an in-demand session musician in Nashville in the 60s. He recorded on several Bob Dylan albums, as well as recordings with Marty Robbins, Claude King, Leonard Cohen, and Ringo Starr. Started going solo in the 70s, releasing 9 albums before his album called Million Mile Reflections, with his hit song, The Devil Went Down to Georgia, which hit number 1, actually. Number 1 on the country charts. Charlie became a leading figure in Southern rock. His band also won a Grammy for Best Country Vocal Performance by a Duo or Group.
And that song was awesome. Like, there's so many animations on it, too.
Yeah. Like,
you have a kid going up against, like, this demon-like thing, and he's just destroying this demon with music. I mean, that's awesome. He's like, I'm the best there ever been. I was like, doom, doom, doom. Such a cool song. Such a cool artist. You know, Charlie Daniels will definitely be missed, man.
Yeah. Like all of these, it's just like what they say. Like you really don't know what they actually did until you see them gone, you know. And then you look more into them, like, oh wow, they did this. They were the pioneer of that one, or whatever. But it's pretty sad. But that's 2020 for you.
We're just taking away these top tier people.
Oh, I know. And the next one?
The next one we have here, Naya Rivera.
Excuse me.
Most notable for her role as an actress in Glee, The Royal Family, and The Master of Disguise. She took up songwriting at the age of 15. In September 2012, she signed on to Elton John's management company. Now, this was crazy for me because, like, I want to say, like, 2 of her co-stars had already passed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And her being the third, it's crazy. Like,
kind of.
I can only imagine how the Glee family must be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, losing a sister.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, man, I definitely want to, you know, shout out her name because she's definitely an influence, especially in Glee as a vocal artist, and also an actress that, you know, she portrayed Santana very well in Glee, and I was a big fan of hers, her spunkiness.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
She also tried out in American Idol. Didn't even get past the first round, right?
Really?
Yeah, I looked that up too. And
wait, I think I heard that. I think you said that to me a long time ago.
She auditioned for it and she didn't even get far. Like she didn't even make it past the first round. And then bam, she comes out of nowhere in Glee.
You know, like and she has solos too. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So that says a lot.
Annie, are you okay? That was cool.
The next one here, Jerry Stiller. So many of you all will know him as the father of Ben Stiller. He was notable for the counterpart of the husband and wife comedy team known as Stiller and Mira. Both Stiller and Mira were on top of their comedy game in 1960s and was notably known for his presence in the Ed Sullivan Show in 1948. He was also well known as George Costanza's father on Seinfeld, sorry, and Leo Remini's father on The King of Queens.
Yeah, I love his acting, man.
Yeah,
always, like, puts a smile on my face. It was crazy when I found out that he was the father of Ben Stiller.
Yeah, I now I can see where Ben Stiller gets it from. Yeah, and again, you don't really know until something like this happens, but I guess that's where Ben Stiller get his little comedy gene from, Yeah.
Yeah. We have also Kenny Rogers is a notable award-winning singer-songwriter in both pop and country with his hits like Lucille, The Gambler, and Ranuma's personal favorite, Islands in the Stream.
Yeah.
In 1978, Kenny Rogers received the Grammy Award for the category of Best Country Vocal Performance, Male, for Lucille in 1980. He received the Grammy Award for the category of Best Country Vocal Performance, Male, for The Gambler. Mm-hmm. Kenny Rogers, bro. Islands in the Stream. I've heard so many different versions of that song.
There's a lot of versions.
I do like the original.
So. But the only reason why I know of this song is because as a Filipino family, we had this, something called the karaoke. So
karaoke box.
So my dad and my uncles would always sing this song. And that's the only way I think, know the song is by them singing it. It wasn't until I actually read the title and who sang it. And I'm like, oh, I actually like this song. I heard the original, not covered by, my family, of course.
Right.
And I'm like, this is actually sounding better than the one who did the cover. So, so it's a really catchy song, but I don't think not a lot of people know about it, or at least
it's okay because I know. Islands in the Stream. That is what we are.
Oh man. So yep.
All right. So this is definitely going to be a name that everyone will know. Yep. Kobe Bryant. Notable for becoming an 18-time All-Star, won 5 NBA championships, a 2-time Finals MVP, a record 4 NBA All-Star Game MVP awards, League MVP in 2008, a 2-time NBA scoring champion, 12 all-defense selections, 1997 Slam Dunk champion, and a 2-time Olympic gold medalist with the USA team. He also is notable for scoring the league's highest point total in a game, 81 points, against the Toronto Raptors in 2006, leaving him in second place on the all-time list behind Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. I couldn't believe when this news came out. I woke up. I was like, no, he didn't.
I was like, to some or to most, especially with my cousin Ryan, he confirmed it by him texting me as early as he could whenever it happened.
It was his comment that made me.
Yeah,
like, it's for real.
Because if you guys know my cousin Ryan, he was born and raised in LA, and so he's all about LA, the Lakers, the Dodgers, the LA Kings, and so when he heard this, it broke him.
Oh yeah,
it broke him, and it was kind of almost depressing because when I talked to him at his son's baby shower, and this happened the same day of the baby shower, he was just that's right. Yeah, he was not okay. But I kept trying to tell him like, hey, this is your son's baby shower. Just keep going,
It's a hero, bro. Kobe's a hero. Even his daughter was with him too.
Yeah, and so when I lived in Sacramento, in the years of 2000 and 2001, it was always that rivalry between the Kings and the Lakers. Mm-hmm. So of course, as a Kings fan, man, I didn't like Kobe. I almost hated him because he and Shaq just destroyed the Kings like all the time, But like I had to applaud him because he is that good. He is so good. Like he's
great. And he didn't stop at himself, improving himself. He improved everyone that watched him.
Yeah.
He improved anyone that, he got the chance to meet. Kobe Bryant is a man among men.
Yeah, and I think he is joined with his daughter too. So at least he has somebody to play basketball with for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the last one we have here is most recent one, Chadwick Boseman. Notable for portraying real life heroes like Jackie Robinson, James Brown, and of course Marvel's Black Panther. Um, and he's from South Carolina. He studied theater and playwriting at Howard University. He worked with director Mike Malone and Ghana while in college to preserve and celebrate performance rituals on stage. Boseman said it was one of the most significant learning experiences in his life.
See, this is interesting. You know, he had a lot of hate before his passing.
Oh,
People thought he was on drugs and everything, but he was actually suffering.
Yeah.
You know, and now that he's gone, kind of really quieted those people up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And with Chadwick Boseman, I could see just greatness coming out. Any movie that he wanted to touch, it was going to be awesome because he was it just felt so surreal whenever he was on, or not surreal, but more sincere as a character. Like he felt like he was. I felt like he was that character when I watched him. So even though I've only seen him in maybe 3 or 4 movies, it showed his his talent and his knowledge of the craft and how he expressed it very well. I mean, he is definitely, because I'm also trying to get into to acting myself, and so I like to look at actors that can do a multi character type of person. Like he could play one person, he could play like a thug, or he could play a lawyer, and then he could play a doctor, and then maybe he could play someone who's from the countryside versus someone who's born in the city. We already know that he could play someone out of the country. I mean, I didn't even know his English was that great until I saw his interview. I only heard him do the Black Panther character first.
Yeah.
So I've already, kind of pictured him like, oh, he must sound like that, or at least his English must sound similar to that. But
well, I mean, I watched him on right after Black Panther. I watched I think it was called 21 Bridges on Netflix. And so I was like, oh, dang. So he's got a really good New York accent going on. Maybe I wonder if that's his real accent, But I was listening. I was watching a whole bunch of other videos after his passing, but a lot of people, or he was actually saying that there would be no Black Panther without Denzel Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear about that? Denzel Washington actually paid for his tuition in Howard University to go through the acting. It was Chadwick along with other actors that he had paid for. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, that's pretty amazing that somebody like Chadwick
sponsored.
Yeah.
Denzel
Washington's he's huge.
And
he is.
And it makes sense, you know what I mean? Like look at Chadwick Boseman's work. I mean,
yeah. It kind of reflects off of him, right?
off of it, yeah. And man, gone too soon,
I know. And I guess he's not getting criticized now because now they're saying he has a lot of, now he has a lot of courage now. Like they're saying he has so much heart and courage, and he was very strong. Why? Because he kept what kind of brought him down a secret, Although I did, what is that?
Persevered.
Yeah, I mean, I did notice a couple years ago that he did a huge weight loss. Like he lost a lot of weight. So I was thinking, okay, maybe he was trying out for a role. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because Christian Bale did that too. Like he lost a lot of weight right after Batman.
I think Chris Hemsworth also did that too.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's doing it for a role. But I looked into it more. People are really concerned about his weight. And then that's where the judgment came along. And then now it's like, now we know why he was like that. And if you looked at other interviews, he was also talking about the kids also. Mm-hmm. How he's very giving. He was very emotional. He was very supportive.
Very pay it forward too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all these names, Grant Imahara, Takuo Oyagi, Regis Philbin, Bill Withers, Little Richard, Charlie Daniels, Naya Rivera, Jerry Stiller, Kenny Rogers, Kobe Bryant, Chadwick Boseman. May you guys rest in peace. And your legacy will live on through us.
Definitely.
That wraps up this episode. In the next episode, we will be talking about what to wear in a job interview. Thank you to White Wong Media, and don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment on YouTube. All the links are down below. Thanks again for tuning in. See you next time.